we got our first real look at season 2 of Arcane. I am so very excited. If you may or may not know, I am a huge League of Legends fan. I am not the most versed on the lore, but after playing the game for well over like 7 years, I do know quite a bit about it. So I'm very excited to kind of look at this trailer a little bit more in depth. And the first thing I have to talk about is the music box, which is a creepy, eerie sound setting us up for this whole vibe of having Singed looking up at Warwick, who, as we know, or maybe you don't know, it could be a spoiler, but is Vander, which I think is really cool. The whole story of Warwick is lining up still moderately close to the lore of Warwick. I think essentially we're going to keep going down it where Vander will not remember anything of who he was, but will still kind of be this fighter of, I don't want to say justice, but going after criminals and trying to keep the Undercity a moderately safe place, which is kind of Warwick's whole shtick in his lore. So it seems like we're going to keep going down that path. It also seems like, since we've already become aware in the first teaser trailer that Jinx and Vi will still be a part of everything, we can assume that Jinx and probably Vi are going to have their run-ins with Warwick. Whether they are aware or not, it is Vander. I think we are going to go down those themes of this change that has happened in all three of them and how that affects their little family, which is incredibly sad and very eerie. Because we also have Singed sitting there with the locket. Now, we can't see who is in the locket, but in the first season, we did get to see that picture already, so we don't really need to see it again. We saw it was a little girl. Singed just talked about before that he had lost his daughter as well, so he kind of understood those pains and struggles. And there is another character in League of Legends, also in Zanu, who also has lost a daughter, which I think is interesting, especially with the music box playing as well at the start. I feel like they're giving us a huge hint at the next little bit of story we'll be working in with Singed as well, which I don't know, it's a theory, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is the champion Orianna's father. It makes a lot of sense. Timeline kind of matches up with Orianna's story. Essentially, she ended up getting sick from the Undercity because she went down to help, and because of that, she ended up dying, or getting so sick that she was dying, I should say, because of the illness. And he ends up switching out pieces of her body to essentially make this mechanical girl, and to the point that she is no longer, who she once was. And her father ends up, passing away before her because she is no longer human. It's an interesting story. I think it kind of wraps up with this change type dilemma. And I think if they add in Orianna's story to season 2, it would make a lot of sense due to the fact that we also have Victor, who's kind of going through his own change, transformation, metamorphosis as well, because we have seen, he was running and having a grand old time and, regaining his body back, but at a very severe price of losing someone that he did care about, and learning that this isn't a gift, and that he took it too far. So it'll be interesting to kind of see Victor's story as well, kind of woven in here. And how obviously war is coming. They hinted about it a lot last season, so we know war is coming, with Noxious coming around as well, Piltover, all of these things in the Undercity. Season 2 is going to be very intense. And it's one of those things that I don't know even which characters are going to survive to make it to next season, to even get into next season, because we had so many characters who were about to get exploded, particularly Caitlyn's mom and Mel were pretty close to that line of fire. So it'll be interesting. even Jace too. Like, I don't know. And of course, we also still have Hammerdinger as well, who is out there with Echo. We still kind of need to explore that storyline and what might happen there. I am definitely curious, and I also want to see where Jinx's story will line up as well, since she, you know, had this feeling of betrayal from her sister because of Caitlyn kind of coming in. Jinx obviously is having a really hard time just emotionally dealing with all of this, and I'm very scared if she finds out that Warwick is Vander. I don't think she's going to take it well. Our girl is not going to handle it well. If you don't know anything about League, let me inform you that League of Legends is actually adding in Mbessa into the game, which makes me curious why they're adding her in. I'm going to guess because of that she's going to be more important, whether that is because Mel is alive and or dead, not sure. I'm guessing that she's going to be a big factor here in the upcoming war in the season as well. And along with that, they also said that they were going to be making some more character changes to kind of match up with the Arcane lore as well. We already have some skins that have been put out for Arcane, so it makes me wonder which champs they're going to go through and give the Arcane love to, since we already have some. I'm hoping it's Hammerdinger and Singed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Victor as well. Victor looks drastically different than any of his skin. Like, if you look at him in the show, you see a nerdy little man, and then you look in League and you see a bionicle robot like character. They don't match up, so I'm not sure if they'll make like a human Victor or not. I'm not sure if they'll kind of give Hammerdinger a little spice up as well. These are all my theories. They didn't announce which characters were going to get the updates, but if I had to guess, it is those three potentially, since I don't think Echo really needs it. But who knows? Who knows? But it'll be very interesting. I am so excited for the next season of Arcane. There are so many different avenues we can go down. I'm very, very interested and very hopeful that they go down the Orianna route and that Singed is Orianna's father. I think that'd be really cool, very interesting, and help kind of weave in some of that lore pieces as well. And bringing Orianna in, oh, it gives us so much potential for beautiful little ballerina scenes, which your girl is fangirling over. Let me just say, like, seeing like Orianna, like flashbacks of her dancing and stuff, even in her mechanical form, would be so cool. And of course, just getting her like, hello master, like voice, like, oh, hearing the vocal work for that, just all of it would be really cool. So I'm hopeful. I'm like crossing my fingers that we get Orianna. I hope. That is my like wish list. But I'm interested. I think this season's gonna be absolutely incredible. I'm very excited for later down this year to kind of see where the story goes. Obviously, we have a lot of loose ends to tie up and a lot of new doors opening up with war down the line for Piltover. So it's gonna be very interesting. So thank you guys so much for watching this with me and letting me fangirl out, basically. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you know when I upload, and I'll see you all later. Bye.